1976 Pontiac Trans Am for sale in Edmonton, Alberta Canada T5A0A7 76 Trans Am Street Warrior. This is a sleeper with show car looks. That is until you start her up and heads will turn. Factory steel body, 1000 watt stereo, overdrive transmission, full exhaust and full interior. Is this a race car? The intent was to maintain the original classic qualities, yet have an insane amount of power in a street car. Butler Performance 535 CID Fuel Injected, dyno tuned naturally aspirated 829 horsepower pump gas, over 1100 horsepower with nitrous. This is a $40 K-bracket engine built for street driving manners and durability. The only thing Edelbrock about the heads was they started as raw castings for CNC wide porting, increasing flow from 270 CFM to 365 CFM. The shaker is fully functional and correctly mounted by fabricating a custom base and shaving the Victor intake, also CNC ported. This is a true street car with rear seats, so no wheel tubes. Full interior is factory other than racing bucket front seats. The carbon fiber odometer gauges are modern touch mounted in the factory locations. The exhaust has two ceramic coated super comp headers, 3.5 full-length mandrel bent exhaust, and even duplicated the factory style dual tailpipes by hand, making them 3.5 and chrome plating. 3-chamber Flowmaster mufflers provide the perfect sound. When you step on the gas pedal, the engine screams like it belongs racing in NASCAR, yet there is no idle drone and you can have a conversation at a normal volume while cruising around. At 4,000 feet altitude, this car runs low 10s on pump gas and 9s with nitrous in the quarter-mile on 10.5 slick. The transmission is a TCI 6X overdrive. 6-speed is matched with a 4,500 RPMs lockup converter that allows highway cruising at 2,100 RPMs for great fuel economy due to some EFI tuning tricks and top speeds over 200 miles per hour. The tranny has a Reid SFI removable bell housing and is run by a fully programmable race controller by PCS, and paddle shifters with display was installed after the photos and video. The firewall was completely flattened out after removing the heater, and the fuel lines were routed through the cowl area and enter the engine bay through the top of the firewall with flush mounted fittings. A lot of details went into make the engine bay clean with modern show car finishing. The rear axle is a Ford 9 by Moser, is rated for 2,500 horsepower with oversized bearings, 35 spline shafts, a Detroit locker rated for high HP, 3.89 gears, ladder bar suspension, and Willwood brakes. The front suspension is factory with the addition of adjustable QA1 coil over shocks on all four corners. Not in the photos, the car now has a Hydra boost power brake booster. Every single part and fitting is the best you can buy. 2 full days on an engine dyno and 10 hours of street driving to tune the FAST XFI fuel injection. The XFI also has built-in traction control, not that I spent much time at the track to program it properly, as I am a street guy not a bracket racer. There is a switch to change between 4 engine programs for normal cruising and race tune, a nitrous mode, traction control mode, and even add a tune so that you can simply change the fuel, and at the flip of the switch you can run 100% ethanol, methanol or alcohol. The XFI also has built-in data logger, or you can use a laptop while racing to capture data from a dozen sensors. The body is all steel, only had a small rust bubble on the fender that was cut and replaced with metal. A one-off fiberglass bumper was handmade with a steel impact bar. Custom 2x3 frame connectors were installed and cut to fit through the floor and the cross member for the ladder bars. 275/60R15 street tires were used for the video pics, but the car also comes with 10.5x28 slicks on 15x10 matching rims. I generally just drive around with the slicks all the time. I competed in the 2012 Rimby 200-foot street shootout. It's a no-prep shootout on a county paved road. I ran in the street tire class, no nitrous, and I had to launch in 5th gear. Riding the converter is launching in 4th gear lights up the tires. I won the street tire class, drove over 1 hour there on the highway, raced and drove home all on less than 1 tank of pump gas. This car was featured in Pontiac Enthusiast July 2010. I have a binder with the manuals for the performance parts, and I even made a wiring schematic of the electrical changes, switches and relays. Invested in this build was over $80 US just in performance parts. This does not include buying the car, restoration parts, show car body work, $20 for a mirror finish paint job, and over 2,000 hours of skilled fabrication and customization. You will have a hard time building this car for less than $200. This is not a lightweight, striped down and hacked together bracket race car, but executed with attention to detail for the highest level of show and go. If you want a Trans Am that keeps to its original body and look 79 tail light swap was done, has an engine bay that belongs in a jewelry store, can tear up the street, turn fast numbers at the track for a 3,900 pounds full interior car, and cruise around with mild manners on the street with durability and reliability, then this is the ultimate Trans Am car. Shows, racetrack, or street cruising, this street warrior is on the hunt. I believe in full disclosure. The final build, restoration and drivetrain has 4,500 miles on it. Last year the engine was pulled and the bearings looked like they had barely been even run on a dyno. But it was a part, so the bearings, valve springs and roller lifters were replaced anyways. The paint is 12 years old and looks excellent except for some rock chips in the front bumper. A small impact on the rear bumper was touched up with paint, and the car was lent to be used on a parade float and someone laid on the hood causing minor denting. The hood dent can only been seen from the drive seat. I was going to refinish and repaint the bumpers and hood this winter but selling now. Expect to spend about $3 on a shop to correct this with a mirror finish to match the rest of the car. Other than that, car is in excellent condition. Call today for more details to get behind the wheel of this 1976 Pontiac Trans Am.